My name is Yana Hall and welcome to Simply Accounting. In last week's video, we discussed the definition of accounting and I introduced you to the accounting equation. In today's video, we will learn the T accounts to the accounting equation. So last week, we learned that the accounting equation is assets equal liabilities plus capital. So in today's video, we will learn the T accounts for each part of the accounting equation. So before we get started with assets, there's some general things that you need to know about T accounts. T accounts usually have the account's name up at the top, and then they have a debit and a credit side. The debit side is always on the left side of the T account, and the credit side is always on the right side of the T account. So now let's talk about assets. So assets, the beginning balance of an asset is on the debit side of the T account, and any increase to an asset is on the debit side of the T account as well. Any decrease to an asset account is on the credit side. Now this is because if you look at the accounting equation, assets are on the left side of the equal sign, which means that any increase to an asset would be on the left side of the T account, or better known as the debit side of the T account. So two examples of asset accounts are cash and accounts receivable. So in cash, the beginning balance would be on the debit side, and any increase to cash would be on the debit side as well, and any decrease to cash would be on the credit side. Now the same as with accounts receivable, the beginning balance is on the credit side, and any increase is on the debit side, and any increase is on the debit side, and any decrease to accounts receivable is on the credit side. So now we're going to talk about liabilities. Now liabilities is different from assets because if you look at the equation, liabilities is on the right side of the equal sign, which means that any increase to liabilities would be on the right side of the T account, or better known as the credit side of the T account. So for liabilities, the beginning balance is on the credit side, and any increase to a liability account is on the credit side, and any decrease to a liability is on the debit side. So two examples of liability accounts are accounts payable and notes payable. So in accounts payable, the beginning balance is on the credit side, and any increase to accounts payable is on the credit side of the T account, and any decrease to accounts payable is on the debit side. Now same goes with notes payable. The beginning balance is on the credit side, and any increase to notes payable is on the credit side, and any decrease to notes payable is on the debit side. Now the last part of the accounting equation is capital. So capital is going to be the same as liabilities because when you look at the equation, capital is also on the right side of the equal sign, so that means any increase to capital will also be on the credit side of the T account. So the beginning balance for capital would be on the credit side, any increase to capital would be on the credit side, and any decrease to capital would be on the debit side. So now let's recap what we learned. First thing we learned is about in any T account that you have, there is a debit side, which is always on the left, and a credit side, which is always on the right. We also learned that assets increase with a debit and decrease with a credit. We learned that liabilities increase with a credit and decrease with a debit, and capital increases with a credit also and decreases with a debit. So that concludes the lesson for today. I hope that you learned and better understood the T accounts for the accounting equation. Next week we will go into more depth into the accounting equation. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next week on Simply Accounting.